Today our topic is what the Stoics believed about happiness. The Stoics were ancient philosophers who lived thousands of years ago, but their ideas about life and happiness are still very useful today. They believed that happiness does not come from money, fame, or things we own. Instead, they thought that true happiness comes from inside us, from how we think and how we live our lives. The Stoics taught that we cannot control everything that happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. This idea is very powerful because it means that no matter what happens in life, we can always choose to stay calm and strong. The Stoics believed that the key to happiness is to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot control. This is not always easy, but it is possible with practice. One of the most important Stoic ideas is that we should not let our emotions control us. The Stoics believed that emotions like anger, fear, and sadness are caused by our thoughts, not by the things that happen to us. For example, if someone says something mean to us, we might feel angry. But the Stoics would say that the person's words did not make us angry. It is our own thoughts about the words that make us angry. If we can change the way we think, we can change the way we feel. This does not mean that we should never feel sad or angry. It is normal to have emotions, but we should not let them take over our lives. The Stoics believed that we should try to stay calm and rational, even in difficult situations. This way, we can make better decisions and live a more peaceful life. Another important Stoic idea is that we should not depend on external things for our happiness. Many people think that they would be happy if they have more money, a better job, or a bigger house. But the Stoics believed that these things are not necessary for happiness. In fact, they thought that depending on external things for happiness can actually make us unhappy. This is because we cannot always control whether we have these things or not. If we lose our job or our money, we might feel very sad. But if we do not depend on these things for our happiness, we can still be happy even without them. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes from being content with what we have and from living a virtuous life. They thought that being a good person, helping others, and living with integrity are the most important things in life. The Stoics also believed that we should accept the things we cannot change. Life is full of challenges and difficulties, and we cannot always control what happens to us. But we can control how we respond to these challenges. The Stoics believed that we should accept the things we cannot change and focus on what we can do to make the situation better. For example, if we lose our job, we cannot change the fact that we are unemployed. But we can focus on finding a new job or learning new skills. If we get sick, we cannot change the fact that we are ill, but we can focus on taking care of ourselves and staying positive. The Stoics believe that by accepting the things we cannot change, we can avoid unnecessary suffering and find peace. The Stoics also believe that we should live in the present moment. Many people spend a lot of time worrying about the future or regretting the past. But the Stoics believed that this is a waste of time. The past is already gone, and the future is not here yet. The only moment we have is the present. The Stoics believed that we should focus on living well in the present moment and not worry too much about what might happen in the future. This does not mean that we should not plan for the future or learn from the past, but it means that we should not let our worries about the future or regrets about the past take over our lives. The Stoics believed that by living in the present moment, we can find more peace and happiness. Another important Stoic idea is that we should not be afraid of death. Many people are afraid of dying, but the Stoics believed that death is a natural part of life. They thought that we should not waste our time worrying about death because it is something that we cannot control. Instead, we should focus on living a good life while we are alive. The Stoics believe that if we live a virtuous life and do our best to be good people, we do not need to be afraid of death. They thought that death is not something to be feared, but something to be accepted as a part of life. The Stoics also believe that we should not compare ourselves to others. Many people feel unhappy because they compare themselves to others and feel that they are not good enough. But the Stoics believed that this is a mistake. They thought that everyone is different and that we should not try to be like other people. Instead, we should focus on being the best version of ourselves. The Stoics believed that we should not worry about what other people think of us or try to impress them. Instead, we should focus on living a life that is true to our own values and beliefs. They thought that by doing this we can find true happiness and peace. The Stoics also believed that we should be grateful for what we have. Many people focus on what they do not have and feel unhappy because of it. But the Stoics believed that we should focus on what we do have and be grateful for it. They thought that gratitude is a key to happiness. When we are grateful for what we have, we can feel more content and satisfied with our lives. The Stoics believed that we should not take things for granted and that we should appreciate the small things in life. For example, we should be grateful for our health, our family, and our friends. The Stoics believed that by being grateful, we can find more happiness and peace in our lives. The Stoics also believed that we should not be too attached to things. Many people are very attached to their possessions, their jobs, or their relationships. But the Stoics believed that this can lead to unhappiness. This is because we cannot always control whether we keep these things or not. If we lose something we are attached to, we might feel very sad. But if we are not too attached to things, we can still be happy even if we lose them. The Stoics believe that we should enjoy the things we have, but we should not be too attached to them. They thought that by being less attached to things, we can find more freedom and happiness. The Stoics also believed that we should help others. They thought that helping others is one of the most important things we can do in life. The Stoics believed that by helping others we can make the world a better place and find more meaning in our own lives. They thought that we should not only help our friends and family, but also strangers and even people we do not like. The Stoics believed that everyone is part of the same human family and that we should treat everyone with kindness and respect. They thought that by helping others we can find more happiness and fulfillment in our own lives. In conclusion, the Stoics believed that true happiness comes from inside us, not from external things. They thought that we should focus on what we can control, accept the things we cannot change, and live in the present moment. They believed that we should not let our emotions control us, that we should not depend on external things for our happiness, and that we should not be afraid of death. They thought that we should not compare ourselves to others, that we should be grateful for what we have, and that we should not be too attached to things. Finally, they believed that we should help others and live a virtuous life. These ideas are very simple, but they are also very powerful. If we can follow these Stoic principles, we can find more peace, happiness, and fulfillment in our lives.